These are some of the most disturbing videos ever found on the internet. Many of these clips have never been seen by the public, and some have even been removed due to graphic content, so viewer discretion is strongly advised. Now let's begin with the first video. On the 26th of May 2013, authorities received a chilling mayday call from the Blackwaters off the coast of Nigeria, and what rescuers find beneath the waves still haunts them to this day. Before getting straight to the point, we need to understand how it all began. On the morning of May 23, 2013, the tugboat Yaskan bobbed through the black waters off the coast of Nigeria. Its mission was straightforward but critical: to secure a massive oil tanker several hundred feet long, loaded with gasoline that had just been taken from the nearby Chevron oil platform. However, their journey didn't go as planned. If you've ever been on a sailing ship, you know the weather is never guaranteed. One minute it can be sunny, and the next it can turn into heavy rain with strong waves. In their case, that's exactly what happened. Within an hour, light rain quickly escalated into a downpour, and massive waves began pounding the ship. The worst thing they feared had become reality when a massive wave struck the vessel, flipping it over in an instant. What followed was one of the most disturbing maritime tragedies in recent memory, as the ship sank almost immediately. At the time, there were 12 people on board. Among them was 29-year-old Harrison O'Keene, the only one who would survive. But before we get to how he managed to stay alive, we need to understand why he was the only survivor. The ship had plunged more than 100 feet to the seabed, where the other 11 crew members quickly fell victim to nitrogen narcosis. If you're unfamiliar with the term, it's a dangerous condition that occurs underwater, causing disorientation, hallucinations, impaired judgment, and loss of motor control. However, O'Keene was inside the ship's galley cooking for the crew. Trapped deep underwater, he found himself still inside the wreck, where, by some miraculous twist of fate, an air pocket had formed, giving him a fragile chance at survival, which, immediately after the submerged Nigerian rescue crews received the mayday from the Yaskan 4. But with the storm raging and the ship sinking so quickly, there was no chance of launching a rescue in time. By the time the weather cleared later that day, a new problem had surfaced. The vessel was now completely upside down. That meant anyone attempting to swim inside would be facing a maze of hazards. Even the most experienced scuba divers aren't advised to stay at that depth, about 30 meters or 100 feet, for more than 20 minutes. It's simply too dangerous. But Harrison O'Keene, the ship's cook, wearing nothing but his boxer shorts, survived down there for 60 hours. Eventually, a team of South African rescue divers was sent down to inspect the wreckage and recover whatever they could. Gliding through the murky depths with only their flashlights piercing the black water, they discovered the lifeless bodies of 10 crew members. Then, pushing deeper into the sunken ship, the divers came across something that left them frozen in disbelief.
Ceiling, yeah? What's that? Okay. All right, you found one, yeah? He's alive, he's alive. Okay, keep him there, keep him there. All right, just, all right, just hold him there, okay? Keep him there. All right, just keep him there and keep him calm, okay? All right, just reassure him, pat him on the shoulder. Okay. All right. All right. Right, let's get that head on his head so we can reduce the CO2, please. Want to keep calm, okay?
As scuba divers were gliding through the sunken ship, a hand suddenly reached out and grabbed one of them. At first, it was a nightmare, the kind of thing you'd expect in a horror film. But as soon as they realized what it was, they quickly pulled the man to safety. That man was Harrison O'Keene. He later described spending more than 3 days trapped in a single small air pocket inside the wreck. He said that if the divers had taken even a little longer to reach him, there's a good chance he wouldn't be here today to tell his story.
Massive fire at an American nightclub packed with young music fans has left at least 85 people.
On the evening of February 20, 2003, more than 100 people were killed when a fire broke out at the station nightclub. To understand how this tragedy happened, we need to go back where it really started. In the mid-1980s, a rock band named Great White was at peak of its popularity. They weren't just popular, they had a massive fan base. Their songs played on radios everywhere, and people packed nightclubs just to see them perform. Fast forward to February 20, 2003, Great White was set to perform at the Station nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island. The venue had a legal capacity of just 420 people, but that night, the crowd was packed in tighter than it should have been. Over 460 people were there, shoulder to shoulder, excited for the show. What none of them knew was that this night, meant for live music and good times, would soon spiral into a deadly disaster that would claim more than 100 lives in just minutes. During the start of the performance, a camera crew had been invited to film the show. They were walking around the venue, casually interviewing people, just capturing the night. Everything seemed normal. However, at one point, the camera was focused on the MC. But then something strange happened. Flames, already climbing across the ceiling above the stage. The fire had started, and almost no one inside realized it. The fire started when the onstage pyrotechnics ignited the soundproofing foam behind the stage. Within a minute, the entire stage was on fire, and the flames began spreading fast throughout the wooden building. At that point, everyone inside the club rushed toward the main exit, but the front door wasn't wide enough to let that many people out at once, creating a bottleneck that made escaping nearly impossible. Even though the building had 2 other exits, the bouncers reportedly denied access, saying those doors were for VIPs only. Every second, the fire kept growing, and the temperature became unbearable. What made it even worse was the foam itself. Investigators later revealed that the club had used soundproofing foam that wasn't fire-safe. When that type of material catches fire, it releases a thick, toxic gas, making the entire place not just deadly from flames, but from the air itself. The camera crew was lucky they managed to get out of the building, but most people weren't as fortunate. The majority of the deaths happened near the front doors, where victims were trapped and quickly overwhelmed by smoke. Later, investigators confirmed that firefighters didn't even reach the scene until nearly 20 minutes after the fire had started, and by the time they got there, it was already too late. Over 100 people had lost their lives, and more than 250 were left injured. It became one of the deadliest nightclub fires in US history, and the footage that came out from that night still stands as one of the most disturbing videos on the internet. Back in April 2021, one traffic stop incident gained national attention, and the reason why will shock you. To understand what happened, we need to go back to where it all started. On February 4, 2021, 28-year-old Officer Darian Jarrett was on duty in Luna County, New Mexico, when he spotted a white truck speeding away from the area. Officer Jarrett pursued the vehicle, not knowing that this would turn out to be the worst mistake of his life.
Tag 0527 Edward Paul. It's gonna be a white Chevy pickup, one aboard. Can't tell what state the temp tag's out of.
Hey sir, my name's Darian Jarrett. I'm New Mexico State Police. The reason for the stop is your window tints a little too dark. Yeah. You mind if I open the door? Or if you want to roll down the window more. Yeah, I know you got temp tags. You got a registration for the vehicle? Yes, sir. I'll need registration and driver's license as well. Right, you got it. Okay. All right, do you have insurance for the vehicle? Yeah, where is it? It's your with the wallet. Do me a favor, come with me to my vehicle. That way I can run your name and date of birth, and then that way I can get my return, okay? Go ahead, shut the vehicle off. If you want, it's up to you. Huh? Yeah, so I can run my checks and I can talk to you a little bit while I'm running my checks, and then you'll show me the picture right away, because I got paperwork I gotta do, you know? Hey, real quick. You have fire money? Yeah. take it off you for my safety. All right, hold on. All right, let's go to my vehicle, okay? Come on.
Fatally striking him as he moved toward the rifle and a duffel bag containing 15 pounds of methamphetamine, worth about $250,000. Cueva later pleaded guilty to 3 counts of using a cell phone to facilitate a drug offense, and in August 2011 he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. August 10, 2025, a video was uploaded to TikTok under the username Dodienzalmuo. The video was meant to show a man doing his usual bog jumping, but what happened next turned into a true tragedy. For those who don't know, bog jumping is an activity where people leap into a bog, wetland with soft, spongy ground made up of decayed plants and moss. The video itself didn't have much context. In the description, the uploader wrote, "It's been a while since I've been to this location. Stepping on the planks and smelling the overwhelming odors of the bog's gases made me loopy." The title was simply Day 5, which suggests he had been uploading similar footage from Day 1. Let's call him X. If you browse through X's profile, you'll notice he had been posting the same type of content since Day 1, in which he jumps into the bog and seconds later he guts back. In this particular video, something wasn't right. X jumps into the bog and never resurfaces. At least, that's what countless viewers claim. Technically, they might be right, because if you watch closely, you'll notice he was completely alone. No one appears anywhere in the frame. Yet somehow the footage ended up on his channel, where many believe it was uploaded by the very person who discovered his remains. From then on, no new video was posted. A couple of days later, a new upload appeared, this time showing him doing the same thing as before. The title simply read, Day 8. Dozens of viewers all had the same question. How did he get out of that bog? The more people thought about it, the stranger it seemed. If he really had died in that bog, then the Day 8 video could only mean one thing. It was filmed earlier, before he ever jumped into that exact spot. Since he gave no context to the viewers and kept uploading frequently, the possibility here is that X is still alive. And to prove it, you have to look closely at the video, where you can see him deliberately lowering himself into the bog. It suggests he could be lying inside it, and the second he's fully submerged, the footage cuts off. The most concerning part is, this kind of behavior is often linked to a rare mental disorder called vorophilia. If you're unfamiliar, it's a sexual or psychological fixation where a person fantasizes about being eaten alive or eating someone else. But remember, these are only theories. And today, if you check his profile, you'll notice the video is completely gone from the platform. This is likely due to TikTok's policy, which flagged the clip as inappropriate. So, what do you think really happened?